Hello guys, we are back with yet another video on a new computer that I got. Now this one looks very similar to the MacBook Pro that I had in the other video, except this one is the early 2008, which is the balls for the walls model when they came out with these things. This is the last version of MacBook, or model of MacBook, to have this aluminum case style. Later in 2008, they came out with the unibodies, which, are what we have today with a solid piece of metal. This was the last version of laptop from Apple to keep this form factor. This is also the most notorious problem-riddled MacBook Pro that probably ever had. This one having the NVIDIA, I think it's 8600 MGT, I want to say. This has the highest memory that you can get. It has 512 megabytes of video RAM with 4 gigabytes of regular RAM. It's got the 2.6 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. It's a really fast machine for the time. And even today, I think it bookmarks like benchmarks half of what my 2013 MacBook Pro can do. But I mean, it still can run up to El Capitan, so it really is still a usable computer. It will take up to, I believe, 6 gigabytes if you put in a 4 gig stick and a 2 gig stick. But I guess let's just take a look at it. I had to do some work to it when I got it, as, like I said, these ones are notorious for graphics failures, and this one had it when I got it. I had actually bought it from the eBay seller. He said in the description that he had to bake the motherboard himself a couple times, but I took it, I baked it, I put better, it didn't look like he re-greased the chips after he baked it, which would explain why it keeps going back to having the issues. But, so I redid it, I repasted the board and everything, and it's working fine now. It has been for about a week. Good thing too, this display is a little beat, especially when it's on a white background. You can see where there's some issues, but this one has not turned yellow, which is really good, because as these displays age, they tend to turn yellow in some spots, but this one's still pretty white. I think my old one is acting like that. It looks a little more yellow than it should. When I got this, it had a beat-up top case on it. I'll actually show you that if I can grab it. 1 second. Take the RAM cover off of it. This was the top case that was on this thing. It has, the scuffs here, the keyboard. It has all this sticky residue on it, and most of the keys didn't even work. The main difference with this keyboard versus the other one is that you can see up here you have the spaces button now, you have dashboard. They moved these, they gave you media controls and moved your volume control. Whereas on this one, this is more in line with the PowerBook keyboard, where you have, your volumes over here, you have the num lock still to use this as numbers, and that button actually doesn't do anything, but F12 and F11 are unused, but F12 is dashboard and F11 is the desktop. But all these buttons still work where they are. I thought I was going to have to change the keycaps, because I wasn't sure if it would actually differentiate between the function keys. I thought maybe this would just be whatever it is on that keyboard, so I was prepared to change the keys, but it recognizes it as that, which is good. The backlight and everything works. The trackpad works as it's intended. The only issue that I have run into with it is that the iSight camera doesn't work. When I go into photo booth or anything that uses the camera, it says it's not connected, as you can see like that. And I looked up videos on how to fix this, and I had no success. So I'm thinking when I took it apart, I just never plugged it back in correctly or something. So I guess we can take a look at about this Mac really quick. You can see there it's 10.9.5 Mavericks, which is probably what I'm going to keep on this, because it is one of the best looking OS X versions in my opinion, next to Snow Leopard. I really like how Mavericks looks. I miss this, the Aqua interface and the actual dock, how it's like a shelf of glass kind of holding the apps, or a glass shelf. It looks really cool. And then we can go into more info here. There's the model and everything. We got a 2.6 gigahertz Core 2 Duo, 4 gigabytes of DDR2 RAM, and there's the NVIDIA GeForce 8600M with 512 megs. This is the top tier laptop that Apple would have sold at the time. It's also got the 250 gigabyte drive. And even today, this thing is still, pretty up to task. You can do things. Firefox is actually still up to date in Mavericks, so that's good. So we have an up to date browser that can play, YouTube videos without. This even plays 1080p YouTube videos. I mean, it has a little hiccup once you start playing it at first, but it still handles it well. We can go see one of IMNC's videos if we go to my history here. I was just watching one of them on the MacBook right there. You can see we're in 1080p HD over here on the corner. Takes a second to load. Oh, that's the wrong button. See, it takes a second to load, but it's still going there. It's pretty fluent, and it's in 1080p. So that's pretty cool. This can run 1080p YouTube without a problem, which is really what a lot of people use these things for. You can just go to Google quick too, and I don't know, just Google something. I think this is a A1260. We'll pull up the Every Mac page. Yeah. This isn't it specifically. I have to go to this one. And then go to the 2.6 with the 512s of VRAM, which is what this guy has. So here's the Every Mac page on this. We can look at some other stuff. There's all its Geekbench scores, which they're nothing fancy today. I was comparing them to my computer. They're all roughly about half of what my MacBook Pro can do. There's some more information there. Where's the... Yeah. There's some information on display there. TFT LED backlit, 1440 by 900, 512 megabytes of RAM, the NVIDIA GeForce with GDDR3 RAM instead of DDR2. So this is one of the balls of the walls models that you can get, and it can run up to 10.11 El Capitan. So that's pretty much it on this computer, guys. I mean, the rest of the case isn't in too bad shape. I mean, there's like a chip down here from, well, this is technically from the other palm rest on the other machine. So I may get a new palm rest for the other one and keep this one on here. But I don't know yet. The other one doesn't have a palm rest at the moment. It also doesn't have a battery, because the battery on this one, the seller did say it came with a battery and a charger, but the battery on this one was destroyed when I got it. It was bulging really bad, it was cracked, and it really is unsafe to use. So I got rid of it, and I put it in here because this is honestly the one that I'm going to be using more. It's a more capable machine. You could actually still use it today, versus the other one's kind of just like for running Lion and just, screwing around on. And I was trying so hard to get Mavericks to run on that thing. I was thinking to myself, why don't I just go on eBay and spend $50 on this? That's what I paid for this thing. $50 with I think like $10 shipping or something like that. So $60 actually, but that's about what I paid for this. So now I have something that can run Mavericks and even higher versions of OS X if I ever decide to go that far. But yeah, so that's this MacBook Pro. I'm going to try and fix the iSight camera. I will make a video on that when I do that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy this. And again, I'm probably going to be making more computer videos as we're coming up on. I have been making some more. I just put a video out about how is Lion still a usable OS today and everything. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.